number 0, Tijuan Roseboro. Number 55, Wallet Rose. And number 1, Sinai. Throughout the night, the Fighting Clan of Vineland, we have number 2. Number 7, Noah Hutchinson, and number 8, Noah Cruz.
And good evening, Vineland High School football fans, and welcome to historic Gittone Stadium here in Vineland, New Jersey. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa up in the booth here with you for tonight's Friday Night Lights action as your Fighting Clan play host to the Atlantic City Vikings. And Rich, while these two teams share the same record, it's not going to be easy tonight for the Fighting Clan, but they have the talent. Now it's time to execute.
Well, the toughest test for Vineland so far, Atlantic City does come in at 3-2, but those losses are to Millville and Mainland. They've also beaten an Ocean City team that shut out Eastern that beat us 20-3. But we've won 5 in a row versus Atlantic City, including last year where it was all passing by Lions to quarterback and 245 yards passing and only about 20 on the ground. This year, they'll get a little more into it when they're on offense, but they've divided it evenly with the quarterback doing a little bit more running. Vineland had lost the toss and will be receiving.
And we are underway here at Gittone Stadium, the first Friday night football game here at home for the Fighting Clan, as Saquon Anderson lost the ball there, but it is recovered by Vineland, still on their feet. And we'll see who scooped it up for you. It is Rayon Carter who came up with the loose football. So good awareness there by the Vineland special teams yet again.
Well, it could have been rough. You know, we talk about a little bit of a edge in where these two teams are at, definitely going to Atlantic City. But the matchup is going to be interesting. The offense is going to need to find a way to run the ball consistently and sprinkle in the pass, something that has been a little rough at times, but coming off of last week, confidence should be really high. But there's a big, tough defensive line out there for AC. 1st and
10 from the 33, and Calderon starts under center on the fake, gets it out to his receiver, and a nice pass to Noah Cruz.
Oh, and an outstanding open field tackle. You missed that, and Cruz is gone for a touchdown. Good protection on that one by that line up front for Vineland.
And I've liked the mix that we've started to see. It started last week against Clearview, but we've started to see Calderon get more comfortable under center while still mixing in his comfortability factor coming out of the shotgun as well. But it gives you a different look offensively, and it gives your opponent a much different look that they're not necessarily used to.
And it's almost like a run play when you're hitting those short passes. That's the way they're addressing it now.
Man in motion is Mark Mutcherson. This one's handed off. And not much there on the run, maybe 2 on the carry. It was Charles Clark on the carry.
Boy, a tough decision for Clark there. You know, there's a little bit of room on each side, but not a ton either way. But 3rd and short now, 3rd and 1.
Ball spotted at about the 42-yard line.
Clark comes in averaging 5.3 yards a carry, leading the team with 170 yards.
Under center is Calderon. Mutcherson in motion. And they hand it off to Phoebus, the fullback, and nothing there for Phoebus on 3rd and short. So it'll bring up 4th down.
And decision time for Vineland. On that one, just not enough push behind Phoebus. As Phoebus, tough to bring down, stood up in the hole, but just not able to get pushed forward. So Brosh is in.
And you wonder here if they try to go hard count, get them to jump, pick up the 1st down, or you give yourself a little bit more punting room with the 5-yard penalty. Kind of a low snap, but Brosh gets it away. Great punt. And it's muffed by the return man, but recovered well and up the sideline, up past the 50-yard line, still on his feet. And down just past the 45-yard line is the return man there for Atlantic City.
They're right about to the 1st down marker, so real nice return. Not that you don't want your kicker doing it, but out-kicked the coverage on that one. He really put his foot into it.
So I bring on Cliff Smith's defense that has been absolutely stellar to start this season. 3 shutouts in 5 games. As they'll get their first look at this Atlantic City Viking offense. This one's handed off.
Ball carries number 5. It's Kyrie Watchdale.
Yeah, for this offense, it's Kawan Rosenborough, the quarterback, also leading rusher and one of the area's best wide receivers. Graffinite kind of torched us last year for about 117 yards and a score or 2.
Another handoff. And a good tackle there. Short of the 1st down marker.
You know, for Vineland, a little different than last year, just defending pass all the time. Defending run, also, and it's going to be really important to stick to your jobs and come up to make plays on the run, but you can't get faked out. A play fake can't beat you because they have some speed at receiver.
And a whistle as Coach Guzman calls a timeout.
Timeout. Vineland.
Even though it's early in the game, I kind of like that timeout call there. It felt like Atlantic City was getting to the line pretty early and quickly. Now you give yourself time to kind of set up with what you saw there. Maybe they throw the same thing at you. Maybe it's a little different, but at least you're a bit more prepared, I think, than you would have been on this 3rd and 3 opportunity.
And because of that kick return, it's probably 2-down territory for Atlantic City. The Graffonite this year, 19 receptions, 310 yards, 5 touchdowns. Having a running back and a quarterback and having to ID the football usually means you're going to get an extra yard or two as compared to just a quarterback that doesn't run.
Yeah, DeGraffenreich committed to Rutgers. He'll be going up to play with Coach Schiano next year. So this one is handed off yet again and a first down for Atlantic City. And their running back just has blazing first touch speed. As soon as the ball's in his hands, he's coming at you. It's almost like a pinball is getting shot right up the gut there, and he's been able to bounce through, and it's been the main reason they've been moving the ball down the field so far on their first drive on offense. He'll take it again. Looking for room, bounces around. Finally taken down inside the 30.
Well, Vineland's secondary coming up and making plays, but still picking up 3 or 4 out of pop. So that defense at linebacker, Barriento, creeping up the leader list with 25 tackles to Cruz's 31 and Mutchertson's 27.
Handed off again.
Yeah, it's just that forward finish every time.
And on a drive like this, Rich, I want to get your perspective here where you see a team just constantly handing the ball off. They're running, running, running. Obviously, you don't want to fully commit and buy into that being their only game plan on this drive, but if you kind of see a trend here, would you start to kind of stack the box a little bit?
Well, Vineland a little bit short-handed up front because everything's kind of staying B gaps and A gaps real close to the center. And with Everton Donaldson out, the big nose tackle, the junior at 6'3", 380, I mean, people bring different things. He wouldn't be in there if this was a passing team, you know, but just need a little more beef up there to help out closing down on those holes.
It's handed off again, does the spin move to stay on his feet.
And they're quickly back up on the ball. They have Vineland on their heels, and they're in a hurry.
And there's the stop we've been looking for on Kyrie Barksdale.
Maybe we creep them up a little bit till they show you that pass in the middle. Creep them linebackers up. Pressure from the outside.
And it's a reverse.
Boy, that's a tricky play, and that was defended real well by Vineland. And that brings up a 4th down.
It was number 11, Sir Lucky, on the carry.
So they
brings up 4th and 2.
pass on the 30-yard field goal attempt. And a false start down at the bottom.
Huge. Looks like the official to the top of your screen has an orange flag tonight. It's in the Halloween spirit here in October.
Oh, it's like pink flags, pink socks. I mean, I appreciate the breast cancer awareness, but remember one year the refs all had pink flags. And they don't stand out like that yellow on there.
The referee to the bottom of our vantage point here has a yellow flag, but that top one is orange. It's in the Halloween spirit. 4th and 7 is Vineland looking to spook this Atlantic City offense into a turnover. Passing play, it's complete.
And enough for the first down. Defender slips.
Vishihad Turner.
Well, that would have been nice, you know, that long drive and you get them 4 and out. Probably would have if not for the slippage.
Rolling out is the QB.
Yeah, false start on the top there. There we go, procedure. Place is packed and getting more packed. It's our second of 3 in a row here. I don't know what comes after quadruple to get to 5, but if there's a name for it, this is 5 times revenge game. 5 games in a row, 5 games over 7 years. Atlantic City has lost to Vineland.
Rolling out, being chased. That's Rayon Carter on the pursuit. A flag flies in. Pass is completed in the end zone.
But where that flag is probably a hold. And that's back at the 14.
So pretty rare that you see a quarterback wearing number 0.
Boy, and what speed. I figured he wasn't going to out-leverage us over there, but he's really quick. Hence all his rushing yards.
It's be 2nd and 13 now for Atlantic City.
He's going to stand back there alone.
5 receiver set here for the Vikings. He's going to carry it himself. The QB keeper stays on his feet and gets into the end zone. Nearly unscathed.
Spread them out and run it under. Well executed.
Kawan Roseboro in for the touchdown. And here late in the first quarter, pending the extra point, Atlantic City has the first points. It's 6-0. Spotted kick is up. And it's good. So with 3:57 remaining in this opening frame, it's 7-0 Atlantic City over Vineland.
Boy, they ran it. They didn't get big chunks, little bits, 4, 5 yards, if that. But quickly up to the ball, Vineland on their heels, and then spread them out and run underneath. And Roseboro, as I mentioned, 6 touchdowns, 398 yards coming into this off 46 carries. It's about 8 yards a pop.
So now we'll see how Calderon responds on offense. Tries to march this team down the field. And, you know, it's one thing that I've talked to Coach Guzman about, and we mentioned it this week on Guzman's Gridiron, which you can listen to wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or watch the show on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel each and every week during the season. The special teams have been so important for this team in terms of field position. And Coach mentioned this week field position is going to be imperative for both teams. And when Vineland is going, they're playing with half the field pretty much the entirety of this season, as they are taken down there at the 25-yard line. And This is kind of uncharted water for Vineland in these first two drives, where normally we're seeing them start around the 45-yard line, if not better, for almost every single drive in a game. When you push them back, it's a little bit of new territory for a freshman quarterback.
And then you punt on 4th and 2.5 instead of being able to go. And both kick returns were solo tackles. They've done a really nice job tackling. See if the offense can have a little continuity here.
Noah Cruz in at tight end. Little swing pass to Charles Clark, and he's buried for no gain.
Yeah, it seems like Atlantic City, we spread them out, and they're a little bit bigger out there and longer than we are, and really haven't given any ground.
It's a loss of 6 on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 16, ball on the 19-yard line. Clark on the handoff, makes a move upfield and gets it up to about the 30-yard line. Great run there on the reverse of field by Charles Clark.
Yeah, nice wide receiver stalk blocking out there. Let him pick his side. Still a big 3rd down, but you picked up about 10 on that. So we got a 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 here for Vineland. Calderon moves his man in motion, hands it off. Not much there after the handoff for Clark.
You know, when I was coaching, it would always be screens, linemen trying to stand there and find somebody to block. But if you're in motion to kick somebody and they're not there, we just need to turn up the field. That way you can be a picker or screener, be a part of that play. On that play, we're just trying to find somebody, and it slowed the whole thing up. So Brosh to kick it away again.
Atlantic City with some confusion here as the player runs in late. Brosh gets it away. It'll be returned. And a nice stop there by Noah Cruz. Just shy of midfield is where Atlantic City will take over on offense with 1:39 to go till the end of the first quarter.
Well, they haven't done much in the way of throwing, but they haven't needed to. Yeah, just going to have to be adjustments from Vineland. I don't know if you stick an extra guy in the middle there, walk a safety up. But they're making the tackles, and they're in the right spots. It's just after 3 yards. Ooh, that's a big running back.
They line up under center, does Atlantic City, and they hand it off to the big man, and there's not much there for number 13.
Yeah, this roster's not the best. I'm like 0 for about 5. Happen to know a few of the leaders on their team by where they're playing, but
it's like putting a puzzle together.
I would like to say 6'2", 230, 240.
They're looking to pass. Roseboro scrambling. He's going to keep it. Picks up a 1st down and more and goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Again, we got to see that speed coming to us, just how quick. And again, looked like we had leverage, but he's outrunning it.
You know, it's never fair to make comparisons on the NFL scale to a high school player, but, you know, we did it last week when we saw Calderon make his runs. Looked very Jalen Hurts-esque. Roseboro's running a lot like Lamar Jackson. Just his run style and the way that he pursues the field, nothing's there. I'm going to take it myself. It's very Lamar Jackson-esque.
A little bit of a tight upper half.
Quick
That's
screen
a double
pass.
possibly, as that was backwards.
Number 3 on reception is Jeremiah Williams.
It's Jeremiah Williams on the reception.
Ball clock 21, first and 10.
Yeah, it's hard to get plays in when they're moving this quick.
They'll hand it off.
Crowd needs a little something to cheer for. Last time Vineland holds them to a 4th down, but they convert by spreading the field. Not bad job on 1st down, so 2nd and about 8.
I believe that was Jalen Day on the carry.
Looks like they're going to let it run and take us to the end of the 1st quarter.
That looks to be the case. So at the end of the 1st quarter here was the final seconds tick off the clock. Atlantic City with a 7-0 lead after 1. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Friday Night Lights, Vineland High School varsity football on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Everybody, you are watching Friday Night Lights here from historic Gittone Stadium on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here on the call with you as Atlantic City is driving right down the field. They'll reverse the field here. It's a handoff and a nice takedown by Noah Cruz. And Vineland needed that one, Rich.
Yeah, that's big. Now we push them back another yard or 2. 3rd and about 7. They got to make a stand. The defense was close the first time, but
looking to pass. They fire to the corner. And it's incomplete. Great coverage there by Saquon Anderson.
boy, Saquon turns around perfectly, gets his hands up on it, and wrestles it away. Thought for a second he may have ended up with it on his belly, but 4th down now.
It's great hand placement, too, and timed it perfectly to make that jump and kind of hooked it almost to make sure that that ball didn't end up in the receiver's hand.
Well, we were talking pregame about, I don't see Anderson a lot in the stats, but that's because you don't get a stat for that, and that was a massive play by Anderson. Oh, come on, he moved.
That's a false start if I've ever seen one. As they're rolling, and a huge hit, stays on his feet, but finally falls to the ground. Mark Mutcherson in on that tackle. And Vineland gets a huge momentum swing there as they stop Atlantic City in their tracks.
Ball is spotted at the 16.
So again, not great field position for Vineland to get this one started. 25-25 now on their own 16.
First and 10 here for Vineland.
With trips down low, gives a lot of room.
It's Ron Temple on the receiver handoff, and not much there.
Now, timing not real good. They both kind of stutter step, waiting to make the exchange.
Let's bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, offensively, the athleticism that Atlantic City's showing, you would assume that's also in their defensive backfield. You know, so when I'm seeing 3 receivers here, you got one up top, then you watch the safety creep over the top to double up. I believe it was Anderson on the top of the screen.
Pass complete from Calderon to Temple.
Well, nice read and nice play by Calderon. As that motion happens, there's a hot blitz from the top of the screen. He stays in there and delivers where it should go on his hot read. So it sets Vineland up with a 3rd and makeable, but freshman does a great job understanding what was happening on that defensive side.
Brings up 3rd and 5 for Vineland. And Coach Guzman, talking this week on the podcast, said they felt more and more comfortable with the progression of Elijah Calderon week over week, that they've started to give him more of the playbook to digest, and we're going to see a lot of different things as we start moving forward throughout the season because of how comfortable they feel with him taking on more responsibility.
Yeah, and what a rebound from the Eastern game, you know, to be as poised and have as much confidence. Lined up in the neutral zone, 1st down, Vineland coming.
That's big time.
Grossman defense. And that should result in 1st down for the Fighting Clan of Vineland, and it does. Ball spotted at 26.
That's the first one of them today. You know, you talk about the progression. Earlier in the year, you know, that blitz is coming, you try to outrun it and make a throw, and you get sacked for a loss of 12 or 14, and then your drive is over. And everything you just said, you saw 2 plays ago with that hot read.
1st and 10 from the 26 now for Vineland. Calderon rolling. Steps up, passes, and it's complete.
Well, speaking of the podcast, you talked about Carter, and that was somebody Coach Guzman said, watching the way he came back to that football to help his quarterback out is also something that happens before the game in drills that they have, and just an outstanding job to pick up the 1st down. We do a lot of talking before the game starts to see where our heads are, and it was about Carter and just about the progression, where it used to be, we got these 3 that got a lot of time, and now they're all grouped together in what they bring to the team. Just outstanding growth.
Mason Afanador, the receiver, to the bottom of your screen. Calderon looking to pass. Someone got a hand on that one.
Tipped on the way out.
Intended for Afanador. So I'll bring up 2nd and 10. And that's just going back to the completion. That's a great read by Carter to kind of come back to the ball, too, and make it that much more easy of a throw for Calderon to complete.
But so much of a harder catch to keep that off your body and your pads. 2nd and 10, Fighting Clan.
Calderon hands it off.
About 4 on that one for Clark.
Charles Clark has just been unbelievable this season. To come back from the injuries he sustained last year and build back to make it almost seem like he didn't suffer an injury at all. He's got the cut speed, the reversal of field is there, and the overall game speed is still there for Charles Clark in a big way, if not more.
And not a fear of making those hard cuts either, not tentative whatsoever.
3rd and 7 here. Calderon rolls out, fires, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver there.
So Vineland to punt it, and starting at the 16 and getting those 2 first downs could shift some field position here as long as we cover it well. But that goes back to your earlier point, starting at the 40, we'd be at the other team's 40 or 35 right now. So that field position comes in very handy for AC.
Another solid punt there. It will be returned. Vineland in pursuit. And finally taken down.
Like a slippery eel. Boxed in brilliantly, no overcommitment. So the field is swung off the brush kick. So I watched live the Guzman's gridiron, but I got in a little bit late. And one part I always like is, who was the player of the game or players of the game. So what Coach Guzman have to tell you about last week?
Yeah, we talked about Elijah Calderon on the offensive side of things and him just having that kind of coming out game in a big spot, his first home game as well. And then obviously a player that we've talked about a ton this year who has been dominant in all three phases of the game on offense, defense, and has really embraced his role on special teams is Mason Afanador, number 9 for the Fighting Clan. He has been spectacular in all three phases, but has really embraced being on that special teams unit as Atlantic City looking to pass here. It's complete and taken down by Ronnie Temple. Mark Mutcherson gets in there as well. But the way that you have a senior on a team where, he's playing both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and has embraced playing pretty much the entire game is super special. And to see the progression and growth of somebody like Mason Afanador from where he was his freshman year to where he is now has been awesome to watch.
I couldn't agree more. And again, just like Anderson, when you do your job defensively, sometimes your name doesn't get called.
Donnie St. Jean in pursuit and off the hands of Rayon Carter.
Well, that time the quarterback wanted to throw it because he kind of just jogged to keep ahead a little bit of the pressure instead of taking off. But with that incompletion, it's 3rd and long.
3rd and 6.
Vineland can get another, it wasn't a punt last time, but get a punt this time. They could have stopped that early momentum. All right, if they're off early.
That was a false start.
Oh, my gosh. Like 3 of them at the bottom.
Yeah.
So 1st down.
Or as I'd like to call it, false down.
The only thing I could think is the center and the receivers were on the same cadence, and that's why everybody else was standing still. See if they go back to the run game now. They have the 1st down.
Hand it off. Great stop.
Oh, it's getting better all the time. Linebackers are really filling it on that one. You didn't even get past the freshman lineman there.
Donnie St. Jean, Aiden Zincraft, Noah Cruz in there to make the stop.
Way to make a play up front. And if they can just slow them up, give the linebackers another step or two, now you're getting 1 yard instead of the 3 or 4. Too much talking by these receivers at the bottom. So.
Hand it off again. And a great stop by Mark Mutcherson. And Rayon Carter gets in there to finish it. That was a hard hit by Mark Mutcherson.
And then the ability of the running back to spin on top of the tackle and pick up 2 more, 3rd and 5. Seems like we're containing and boxing them back in much better. And the defensive line is closing up some gaps so it's not as quick to get through. Big 3rd down yet again for AC.
Looking to pass. And it's incomplete.
Ooh, little contact there, I thought. AC's got to punt this. And here comes the punt team.
fourth down.
So we'll get to see that punt return team that's been pretty special this year. Diaz averaging 21 yards of return. Temple's taking one to the house. It's a tall drink of water punting back there.
And they fake the punt. And a great stop by Noah Cruz.
Cruz gets him low, and Omar up top to stop the forward momentum. Looked like that was a punt run option, and it looked like he was going to be able to get there, but a great job by Cruz and Davis.
I believe that was Sonye DeGraffenright back there on the punt.
Well, they've got to get him involved somehow. I hope they don't.
For our sake.
I'll gladly root for him next year.
So Vineland takes over here. It's handed off. Pick up maybe 2 on the run there.
Well, momentum is stopped for Atlantic City. Vineland's gotten more of the offensive play after the first 2 drives of AC with a couple first downs last time. If they can pop something into the end zone here to just level this thing out.
Diaz, the man in motion, botched the snap there. Does Vineland, and Calderon had to kind of pounce on that one.
Going to make it 3rd and about 13. Ball back on Vineland's side of the field. Here's a AC, must have an injury over there as training staff runs over. I see blankets, I see jackets down there. It's not quite time yet.
3rd and 13 here for the Fighting Clan. Calderon drops back to pass, finds a lane, but he's taken down, and luckily Vineland falls on that one.
Campos with the heads-up play, jumping on top of that. Allow Brosh to kick it away instead of great field position for AC. Or a scoop and score.
4th and 19 yards to go.
Adane, only a sophomore, 6'2", 235. AC overloading the high side. There's pressure. Brosh does a good job just to get rid of that. It's going to go out of bounds at the 41 of AC.
I think that's a great sign to see, too, and Coach Guzman's talked to me about that all year long with Calderon. Comes out of the game, not the most ideal drive there for him, but you look down on the sideline, Saquon Anderson is down there saying, hey, brush it off, it's going to be fine. Ronnie Temple's down there saying, hey, we're going to be good. Seeing the senior leaders on this team embrace a freshman quarterback at such a prominent position as well is really awesome to see, with just the inner workings of this year's Fighting Clan football team and how well connected they are on that level.
Yeah, and also Coach Lucas Nelson, one of my old quarterbacks, you know, first one in his ear over there, building him back up. So 1st and 10 for AC, all alone in the back.
Tried to get the hard count. Good job by Vineland not falling for it. Finally get it off, looking to pass. Firing way deep and out of the reach of the intended receiver.
Very good discipline, as you mentioned, by Vineland. So they've only spread the field twice. One was the quarterback draw, got him in the end zone, and this time they go deep. That may be, with the back there, but really spreading the field out to help their run game now that Vineland slowed it down.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 here for Atlantic City. Under 3 minutes to go until halftime.
And false start. False start on the offense. Oh, offsides. Oh, there it is. He switched it up. Number 51 of the offense. You didn't park out there, did you, Kyle?
No,
right.
That is not me, luckily.
That was me as a kid. We used to park over at Gino's Giant. It was the burger chain, and we'd walk across from there.
Looking to pass. Swing pass is complete.
Man, nice defense.
Rayon Carter is slow to get up.
Good to see him. Just had to. Boy, you can't even say shake off cobwebs. Like, what do you, just needed a moment to regather himself. Probably the wind knocked out of him. That's what we go with. As you see, we're under 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. A 3rd and about 12. AC's punted the last 2 times they've had it. Got stopped at Vineland's 16-yard line, turnover on downs.
And Carter's with TD, our training staff there. Hopefully he's okay. He was slow to get up. I saw one of his teammates trying to help him up too, and he didn't really budge, so definitely a little shaken up there is Rayon Carter.
Well, at least he's going to the bench and not the tent. So here's that 3rd down for AC.
3rd and 12. Scrambling. And
Boy.
it's incomplete.
Outstanding job by Cruz, who steps up to take the quarterback run away, and then wise enough to get his hands up to deflect the pass. He did 2 jobs on that. And that'll bring in the punt team for AC. Vineland will have one last shot at it in this first half. Graffinite back to kick it away.
He does kick it this time. A booming punt. Takes a favorable Vineland bounce. And it'll be downed at about the 36.5-yard line. So the best starting field position of the day for Vineland.
37. 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan of Vineland.
With 2:07 to go until halftime, and Vineland will kick off to start the second half. So it's not one of those situations where you have the ball here and can potentially double up on it to start the second half. So we'll see if Vineland can take advantage of this 2:07 here.
So it's a Fanador checking in at the top of the screen. 3 up top, 2 down below, and here comes your motion.
Swing pass to George Figueroa III, and nothing is there for GF3.
Looks like AC is going to take a timeout here.
1:55 to go here in this second quarter.
Well, Vineland hanging right in there. Certainly can't give anything up here. You want to hold on to that football. AC has 2 more timeouts, so sounds weird that you're playing keep away, but you've withstood a lot. 3 drives straight down the field, and you're down 1 score. And since that point, it's been 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out for the AC offense.
Once you walk out, you will not be permitted back in.
Vineland has their bye week next week, and they do have a few people out today. Donaldson and Bono, 2 of them. Carter's still out right now. So second and about 14.
Calderon looking to pass. He fires, and it's incomplete. Mark Mutcherson, the intended receiver there.
They would have picked up 5 or 6.
Third down.
Still been 3rd and long. See if Vineland just runs this, make AC burn a timeout.
3rd and 14. Looking to pass. They fire, and it's out of the reach of Xavion Diaz, incomplete.
So 4th down. Here comes the punt team. AC will have good field position, 2 timeouts. About 1:40 to do something with it. AC's been sending a ton of pressure from the top of the screen. Vineland's right, AC's left. Oof.
Just got that one away.
Smartly, Brosh gets away. A line drive kick, rolls back inside the 20 and trying to make his way upfield. Great job by the special teams as he's tackled at the 26, 75 yards to go. In that 1:34 with 2 timeouts goes AC. So here, let's throw another safety back there. Let's have him over top, playing center field. Boy, and Brosh couldn't follow through and punt. He had to hit a line drive to get it out of there.
So 1st and 10 for Atlantic City with 1:34 to go until halftime. QB pitches it to the running back. And a good pursuit there. And tackle by Mark Mutcherson.
And Mutcherson makes that play and pushes him backwards before he's out of bounds, so the clock will continue to run. And with that lack of field position, it looks like AC is going to sit on their other 2 timeouts unless they connect on something big here. Great containment, great flow. Everybody sliding to the ball. And move back a little bit.
Looking to pass. Dumps it off to the running back, stays on his feet, makes his way upfield, and finally brought down.
there's that timeout.
Saquon Anderson on the tackle.
Yeah, I'm squinting out there. I kept my eyes on him the whole time because that's a touchdown-saving tackle by Anderson. So with 40 seconds, AC is going to use their second timeout. 3rd and 1 from their own 34. Boy, sometimes you think, oh, when we get to halftime, we can shore that up, we can stop that run. But just in the middle of the first quarter, it happened, and all of a sudden, not getting those yards like on those first 2 drives, the defense is really tightened up. Got another play to defend here. Watch for that halfback pass, that double pass earlier. They flung one out into the flats, so that was backwards. Tight formation under center, though.
Take the handoff, and the QB keeper with plenty of space to move upfield gets out of bounds at about midfield. And a flag flies in late. Multiple flags fly in late.
Well, all the way over there, we can't tell if he, but I mean, he didn't hit him late. He may have pushed him when he was already out, which is a foul. But always gets me, there's one flag that comes in about 2 or 3 seconds after normal time. And then 5 seconds after that, it's like, I got your back, buddy. It's like it's getting confirmed. But that'll, oh, they moved the flag. They're throwing it back. I thought somebody threw another one. So 15 on top of that. With 34 seconds left, look like AC will be at the Vineland 35. That was like, all right, tight formation, we'll boot it. If we get it, we're good. If not, no worries. This time, has time to throw it. Dancing around, nowhere to go. The pocket closes, but it's complete to the 15, the 10, making a move and down at the 4. But a flag comes in from the near sideline right at the 32. That's one of those 50-50 flags. Coach Shelton saying, it's on them. Bring it on back now, y'all. Boy, great tackle down to get him down at the 3-yard line. And AC's moving back. Vineland's confident. It's on AC. Don't put that in your pocket, brother. There we go. That's better. So they'll move the flag to say the holding happened at the 30. That'll push them back to the 40 with 24 seconds to go. So AC won't have to use a timeout because the previous play went out of bounds. But it looks like they may want one to figure out a play to use. They're going to use it now with 24 seconds. Well, they bent but didn't break and have to defend just a couple more.
And I think if you can keep this at 7-0, you're this Vineland coaching staff, you feel great about how things have transpired after that early drive that resulted in points for Atlantic City. You feel good about how things have kind of, progressed throughout this game and the way your defense has really locked in and stepped up for you in a big way. Now it's just the offense figuring out a way to move the ball down the field.
And you also have AC that you've beaten the last 5 times that came in here probably expecting to do what they did on the first couple drives. Not every drive, but figured they'd get 2 or 3 scores each half and had to stop Vineland's offense. But now it starts to creep into your head, oh my gosh, we did all that, we're only up 1 score. So important Vineland, keep them out of there. As I mentioned, the number 3 team in Group 5 in South Jersey, number 22 in the state versus Vineland's 170 in the state and 27 in Group 5 South. So Vineland right there just got to finish it off.
Good pressure and a takedown for the Fighting Clan. Nobody other than Agent Ocho himself, Noah Cruz.
Looks like that last timeout will be called, but boy, it seemed early on there was lanes to go everywhere. The tackling has been so shored up. The lanes have been compressed. There's been containment. This defense was coming in on a 4-quarter shutout roll. 3 shutouts this year, and they just went down the field the first time, down the field the second, but, we were able to stop them right at the end. But since then, there's only been a quarterback bootleg, 3rd and 1. You didn't use a timeout, so you're like, oh, see what you get, try to get out of bounds, and it turns into a 40-yard run to set them up. But just a really good job. Can't let anything happen here. Sure, Coach Guzman and Hendricks will come up with some things after. It's nice going into halftime playing for Coach Parentazzi. You would have a meeting with your position coach first. Hey, we can do this. I think we can do that. They relate it to Coach, and then they'd come up with what they were going to do. And Parentazzi would always oversee it and say, you're saying this. Are you telling me that and then you'd be good to go.
And a flag. Be against Vineland.
Well, it looked like Vineland was sending the house, but they still had 4 guys standing back at the 30. It's kind of like, all right, linebackers, drop back like you're playing umbrella, and then press the line and get back to your normal spots before you drop back into hook zones. But it created an offsides, so they pick up 5, but 18 seconds to go. 2nd and 14.
Rolling out is the quarterback, being chased, fires, and it's incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver there.
There was a Fanador in the coverage there in great position. So 3rd and 14 with just 11 seconds to go.
Looking to pass, QB keeper. He's going to stay on his feet and carry it. He's got plenty of room. And he's going to be taken down, and he was down, so I don't believe they'll call that a fumble, but he's down.
With 1.1 seconds. And no timeouts because they wasted that one. This has got to be quarterback sneak. Pinch everybody up on the line. And not able to get it off. Woo! Did some matrix dodging the bullets there. Oh, Neo, you did it. Wow, so they had to hurry up, and that's that silly timeout with the clock not running, and your team came through on 3rd and long, picked up 30, and then here, Vineland sends pressure, which means once you beat that pressure, there's nobody left in the middle to tackle a runner like that, and he makes it all the way down to the 2 before he's brought down. Hey, we're at 7-0 at halftime. I would have signed up for that early.
Got to feel good about that. Vineland will kick off to start the second half. We'll be back after halftime, but don't go anywhere. You're watching Friday Night Lights, Vineland Varsity Football on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel.
present to you their field show, Grim. Once upon a time, in the Hall of Mountain King, a band spent a night on Bald Mountain, where they shared stories of hope and fantasy. They delved beautifully into a new world, but something changed. This wonderful world took a turn for the worse. Continuing up the mountain, the band entered the hut of Pal's legs. All of a sudden, the hut shook and screamed, Baba Yaga! The hut grew legs and ran up the top of the mountain, keeping the band trapped forever. For more twisted stories like this one, stay tuned to the Vineland High School Marching Band Field Show, Grim. Another round of applause for our own Vineland High School marching clan.
And welcome back, everybody, to historic Gittone Stadium. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa up here in the booth with you as we get set for second half action between your Fighting Clan and the Atlantic City Vikings. Atlantic City with a 7-0 lead as Vineland kicks off to start this second half. We'll get you caught up to speed in just a moment, but Atlantic City brings it up past the 30, just shy of the 35. And Rich, going into halftime, we were talking about how if you're Coach Guzman and this coaching staff, you got to feel pretty good about going into halftime only down 7-0 and the way that you've been able to adjust as a defense. Now it's all on the offense to get that execution rolling and move the ball down the field and get a touchdown of your own.
Yeah, hanging right in there. And he also must have liked the way Hill just made that solo tackle, so it's not that big return. But after the first two drives of AC, I mean, going in unofficially, AC 171 yards, Vineland 41, but those two drives really got all the yards from them. The last one was kind of playing prevent. The defense really stepped it up and turned it around. And, you know, everybody's hypercritical with the first drive, but definitely you've got to keep them on their side of the field and give the offense a chance to get going.
So they hand this one off to start the second half. Running back stayed on his feet. Picked up a decent chunk of yards there.
Well, hit initially, but able to squirt forward. Looks like 6 on that. So we had 8 straight punts or turnovers on downs without points, going back and forth between both teams.
2nd and 4 here from the 41-yard line for Atlantic City. It's handed off yet again. Good initial contact there for Vineland to prevent anything big time, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
A great finish on that run, 3rd and short, approaching the 45. Carter back in the game after he was
it's a good sign.
On the side. He's back in there now, so that's good to see.
3rd and 2 is what it's marked at the 43-yard line. QB keeper.
Nice.
And met with a big old boom from the Vineland defense. Mutcherson was in there to make some of that contact.
Along with Phoebus. And Phoebus comes out after that big tackle for loss.
I think Omar Davis was also in on that stop. Playing some linebacker is Omar.
So the punt team is in, but it's 4th and short. Make sure we don't jump off sides here. Make sure he kicks it.
Short punt. Takes a favorable Vineland bounce, and it's going to be down around the 40-yard line. So the best starting field position of the game for Vineland. And it'll be spotted at the 40-yard line. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the game, Rich. You know, to have the ball in that 40 to 45-yard range to start your drive is where Vineland has found a lot of success this season.
Yeah, and the defense is just clicking now. 6 drives in a row, nothing for AC. Now let's see what changes have happened to this offense as Calderon gets them ready. 2 by 2.
Temple, the man in motion. It's handed off to Charles Clark. Can't find the space to cut up field. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
13 on the defense really blew that lead blocker up, and Clark had nowhere he could go. Not your favorite thing, a negative play on 1st down. So 2nd and 15.
Pass.
Oh, no.
Deflected and intercepted and returned for a touchdown by Atlantic City. Deflected off the hands / chest of Rayon Carter. And a pick 6 for Atlantic City.
Well, defense does its job. Just unfortunate on the deflection right into the hands of Atlantic City, untouched into the end zone. And that happened quick as we're at 9:14. So the try for kick. Up and good.
So with 9:14 to go, it's 14-0 Atlantic City.
And there's not just your first turnover of the game. Pick 6 is the first turnover off the deflection. Well, we're getting to that point where we need somebody to make a play. Try to put a stall to this momentum. Diaz and Anderson back at their 10.
Two dynamic playmakers in any situation you put them in, but more specifically this season, those two have been incredible in the return game this year on special teams for Vineland. Ball falls off the tee there. And a bit of a squib kick on the ground. It's a live ball, and it will be returned.
Wow,
Tripped up and down at the 20, and Xavier Diaz knows he could have had more there. So Vineland will set up shop at the 20-yard line, looking to get their first points this evening.
He's sitting up here. It's like, not sure what the offense is going to try to do, and that's not a bad thing because the defense isn't sure either.
Mutcherson in motion. Calderon fires, and it's deflected incomplete. Mutcherson, the intended receiver there.
It's just a lot of speed on that defense, and when we're trying to get to the flats, I mean, it's almost like the same thing we do. We have a lot of speed defensively also, but, you know, the swing passes, the out in the flats, they're just a step or two too quick.
Vineland's got to try to get something going on offense. They haven't really been able to move the ball too efficiently. And it's complete to Rayon Carter.
Not a lot there. Going to set up that third in about 7 or 8.
And as nice as those, you know, kind of little chunk plays are there, you're in a situation here, in my opinion, where you want to kind of get some receivers going, whether it's two of them and maybe your running back or a tight end, going 15, 20 yards downfield because you know Calderon has the ability to throw the ball that deep and kind of open things up, get yourself in better field position, and move the ball down the field at a better pace.
You know, the one big pass play was Carter coming back for it. Like,
Calderon rolls out. He's being chased. Fires. And it's incomplete. Vineland wants a flag.
Calderon showed some speed of avoiding that rush, but time for Vineland to punt. Brosh has been under some heat with these punts. Last time having to just kick a line drive through the middle, which rolled really nice, but
Momentum moving forward. Atlantic City brings his punt return inside the 30 down at the 25-yard line with 7:59 to go here in this third quarter.
Hey, that's what we do. So AC with that other touchdown on the pick six, first time with the ball this half, 5 yards and a punt.
First and 10 from the 25, man in motion, and a flag. False start. And maybe that's what we did see, and the light was just not on it, but referees do have the pink flags tonight. But on this beautiful
first half, I know the guy on that side did.
This beautiful turf here at Gittone Stadium, it does pop a lot more than it would have in the past. So that'll move it back. It's first and 15 now from the 30. And it's a QB keeper. He fires a dart of a pass and into the end zone for 6.
Got a tackle there, not push.
As a late flag flies in. Rishad Turner on the score.
Boy, nice reception through the middle. Fingertip catch down at his knees. Accelerates through the end zone.
It's Kevin Entris, the kicker. And it's good. So it's 7:51 to go here in this third quarter. It's 21-0 Atlantic City.
Got to give the fans something to cheer about here on offense. Figure AC will squib another kick here. No need to give Vineland's return game an opportunity as they've seized control of this one with 2 straight scores to start this half. Got a Friday night Big Ten game this week. It's not a new thing. They got one going Fridays.
I'll check in on that for everybody at home.
Yeah, I was surprised. I woke up in the morning to a replay, and I'm like, oh, this was last night, so I got to watch Tyreen play a little bit.
And Vineland will start at about the 29-yard line. Yeah, the Friday night Big Ten game is one of those new fun ones where it's the West Coast start time because it's Michigan State and Oregon out in Oregon, so a 9 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, sadly, I'd like to put it on my bout with COVID years ago, but I'll be asleep before the first quarter's over. I think old age is factoring in more so, but I like to put it on the COVID, long haul COVID.
Or, you know, we're both gearing up for Red October this weekend.
Yeah, I do need some rest for tomorrow night's game.
Man in motion. Calderon hands it off to Charles Clark, and he is met by a plethora of Viking defenders.
Just nowhere to go and nothing to do for Clark on that as he's hit where he stands and gets the ball. 2nd and 15.
Calderon scrambling. He's being chased. He's got to get rid of it. Fires deep. And not enough. Vineland looking for another flag. Felt like there was some holding or pass interference. And
that one just landed between two receivers, and it's kind of like that pop-up that the shortstop thinks the third baseman has, and it falls right between you. See the growth in Calderon, playing much faster, not getting boxed in, not taking these big sacks.
And I think the big thing, too, he's stepping up when he's passing now, and I think that's huge from what we saw back in August and early September, where he would take some hits, and it was because he was kind of stepping side to side rather than forward into his throws. Just like that, but you got to come down with the football.
Great defense on that play. So 4th and 15.
But his progression so far this season has been unbelievable to watch. And when we were watching him against St. Joe's week 0, we were like, wow, he's got a lot of talent with him. But now he's matured. He's played in a few games now, and it's really shown progression week over week, how talented he's going to be moving forward the rest of this season and beyond.
Well, you talked about earlier how he's escaping to his left, hard to make a throw, and now he's getting out to the right where he can deliver the ball a little easier. And downed at the 44.
Land City takes over 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 45. Clan fans, let's hear it for our beautiful cheerleaders out there.
Come on, defense. Let's make a play here.
Don't they look nice in that pink?
Real nice to get a turnover of our own. And another flag for a false start against the Vikings.
False start.
It's about the 4th or 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
First and 15, ball was spotted at the 40.
A deep pass downfield, and it's going to fall incomplete and out of bounds for Atlantic City.
Decent coverage down the field with that. Not a big push up front. You know, the offensive line is doing a nice job for Atlantic City. You know, and that help of the 5-yard false start, it should keep you down in distance and look to get this back as Vineland shows pressure.
Bringing the blitz.
Oh, what a...
And Vineland gets lucky there as that one was a bit of a worm burner in the dirt.
Boy, and you don't want to send a backer on a screen because it takes him out of the play, but Vineland sent 3. Great play calling, not knowing that was going to happen, but horrible timing for Vineland as it's a screen pass and the quarterback just on his heels, not able to make the completion.
3rd down.
There's an interception, picked on the deflection, taking it up the field to the 20, hit from behind, stays on his feet, and finally brought down at the 12-yard line. There's that spark of life the Fighting Clan needed.
Who other than Saquon Anderson?
Not only a great interception, but boom, what a nice return, setting your offense up where they can get something done here. Halfway through this third quarter, there's plenty of time. There's a gift. Picks up a nice block, and there's a flags coming in, 2 of them. So he's down to the 1, but those flags are usually the area of holding, and we get a hold on Vineland. Looks like at the 18. Oh, right at the 10, so it'll be back to the 20. 1st and 14. Oh, stop. Stop. It's going to go to the 23. Vineland needs to get to the 6 for a first down.
Game clock ticking under 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And nothing there. It's George Figueroa, the third on the carry.
That defensive line is doing a nice job boxing everything in and squeezing down on it. Really can't get between the tackles on him.
Calderon rolling out, looking to pass. Off balance throw there, falls incomplete.
4th down. Third down.
So it is 3rd down because of the penalty, not 4th. 3rd and a long way to go. It's kind of like which side of the line can hold up to give him place to throw it.
Calderon rolling out, firing to the corner, and it's caught for a, they say he's out of bounds. Unbelievable. The balance and control that Xavier Diaz just displayed, taken away because the ref says it's pushed out of bounds.
But good job by the defense, but Diaz, 2 defenders on him, over the top, comes down with it, but just gets ridden out of bounds. So 4th down.
Calderon had 2 successful passes last week to that same spot. So you know he's comfortable throwing there. We'll see if he does it again. 4th and 21. Calderon fires, and it's tipped, almost intercepted by Roseboro.
Not a bad ball, though, being under pressure.
First 10. Ball was spotted at 26.
So the offense can't punch it in. off Saquon Anderson, setting him up in the red zone.
So 1st and 10 for Atlantic City from the 26. 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. It's handed off. Still on his feet. Takes it up just shy of the 40-yard line.
Like a pinball, they make it look pretty easy. It's like AC back with a little tempo. See if they try to get that running game going.
And Roseboro on the keeper. Brings it up to near midfield.
And gets another first down.
Game clock getting ready to tick under 4 minutes here in the third quarter. Vineland trailing 21-0. Deep pass and incomplete.
Saw the deflection of the ball. I thought the official was reaching for a flag, but he's just keeping the ball from hitting him. Well defended. Vineland's contained the deep ball today. It's just that little slant in the middle that burnt them for the score. The other one, a running drive on a 4th down, a quarterback draw, and then, of course, the pick 6 to start this half.
And pitch out. And taken down is Jalen Day by number 22 of the Fighting Clan.
Barriento, who's, as I mentioned earlier, is the linebacker creeping up the tackle list. Barriento, a junior at 5'11", 180.
Brings up 3rd down and 3 to go for Atlantic City from the 43. And they'll get it and then some. Up to the 30-yard line.
Outstanding run.
Looks like they'll mark it.
Is that a flag or a rag? Right at the 29. Looks like a rag.
Well, they called a.
Oh, there's
They
a
called a
penalty.
face mask.
So with that penalty at the 14.
And barreling through, but taken down just short of the goal line by Mason Afanador.
Nice double leg with a finish. If he tries to tackle him, he's just going in, but quickly to the ball. 1st and goal.
And taken down.
He gains a little bit, but still out of the end zone.
Donnie St. Jean in there helping to make the stop.
St. Jean like one of those blue claw crabs, just sticking them out and grabbing them right to the ground.
Handed off.
3rd time's the charm in the end zone. for the AC score.
Marks down for a touchdown.
Well, this was tight at the half. Vineland had AC unsuccessful on drives 6 times in a row. But the deflected pass interception and then their touchdown have really opened it up, and Vineland not able to convert on 1st and 10 at about the 14-yard line.
After an interception of their own. All spotted, kick is up. And it is good. So with 2:15 to go here in the third quarter, it is now 28-0 Atlantic City.
You know, going in to your bye week off a loss is one thing, but like when you see how tight it was, there's room to grow off of that. You know, the offense, though, has struggled tonight. Not a lot of yards in the first half, about 4 first downs worth. And just nowhere to run it. So it's not like, oh, you got to do this on offense. You're trying everything. They're too quick for the flat passes.
Mm-hmm.
They're too big and stout, and you're not getting a push on the inside run. There's not a ton of time to hit a slant or an in or anything. Yeah, it's been really tough sledding for the offense. The combination of size, strength, and speed of AC has presented the offense with some trouble.
Atlantic City squibs this one yet again off the hands of the inevitable return man there, but taken down almost immediately.
By 6 of the 11 Atlantic City defenders.
Is Charles Clark. So 2:09 remaining here in the third quarter. This one's handed off. And Clark doesn't have much space.
You know, it used to be, and I always would be really upset of the routes my running backs would take or my blocking backs on the play, meaning there's landmarks to hit. And I would tell them, you don't look for anybody to block.
Mm-hmm.
You just head up the field. He's got to be in your back pocket.
Right.
I don't want you taking a step out of the way. The first thing in contact is what we're getting. You've got to be right behind him, hand in his pocket. Because, you know, they're trying to make the right block, but it slows the play down sometimes if it's not, you know, a kick out. And they're not pressing up the field far enough to kick them out.
Kind of a backwards pass to Mark Mutcherson.
So a loss on that one, good catch by Much, but
I thought I saw it earlier, but I am confirmed there's a couple of Atlantic City defensive linemen rocking the Guardian cap.
oh yeah, that was a little hard to tell. I thought it was just a different paint on it.
Flag for a false start.
So 3rd and 11 to 3rd and 16.
Calderon kind of swayed forward there to get the referee's attention to throw the flag.
Lean with it, rock with it, rock with it. So this will probably do it for the third quarter as we're under 10. Vineland's still in the huddle. Three, two,
1. And that will do it for the third quarter. Atlantic City leading 28-0. We're going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. You're watching Varsity Football right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel.
So the third down try, it's a short pass, a little bit of room in the middle, has to make a few miss, does that. Now he's to the outside to the 30. Turning on the Jets, the midfield, and nestled out of bounds at the AC 37.
That's what happens when you give Charles Clark room to run.
Well, he hasn't had much room to run, and looks like he got himself a couple cramps. Those legs didn't churn but for 2 seconds on most carries as he's hit right away. But he cramps up on that. I was wondering, I'm like, he wasn't going to make it all the way, but he kind of geared it down, and that was his legs cramping up, but still able to pick up big yards for Vineland. 1st and 10.
Calderon takes the snap. He fires, and it's completed. Just waiting for that signal.
Gain of 5.
Rayon Carter, I believe, on the reception. Mason Afanador checks into the top of your screen. Looking to pass again is Calderon. He fires into a lot of traffic, but a flag flies in after the play.
And you're absolutely right, a ton of traffic, both red and white jerseys, everybody crossing over each other. See if we can pick up a pass interference, and we do on the defense.
That'll be a first down for Vineland.
Sometimes you run like a pick to free somebody up. This time just the patterns. Had Atlantic City making contact with us, so first down, Fighting Clan.
First and 10 from the 18. Calderon under center. Fakes the handoff. He rolls out. He's being chased. He fires, and it's tipped and intercepted. Taken down past the 40. Midfield, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, and into the house for 6. Yet again, the second pick 6 of the game for Atlantic City. It was Kawan Roseborough on the interception. And such a positive-looking drive for Vineland turned into an absolute nightmare, as it is now 34-0 Atlantic City.
Another deflection?
Yep, it was off a hand of, I believe, one of the linebackers for Atlantic City and into the hands of Roseborough, who took it to the house for his first defensive touchdown of the game.
Well, if you add those yards onto the yards he's been producing, talk about all-around productivity. Well, from a 7-0 halftime lead, about to hit 35 just 2 minutes into this fourth quarter.
And a botched snap there on the extra point attempt, and it's no good. So with 10:48 to go in regulation, Atlantic City with a 34-0 lead.
You know, in baseball, you say, oh, that blooper is going to look like a line drive. Well, what was a great first half, Vineland really stepping up to the challenge, especially defensively. Yeah, and then just the wheels fall off. You know, 2 pick sixes, one of them when you're marching down to get a score.
And then you have an interception of your own by Saquon Anderson that brings you into the red zone. You have Charles Clark make a brilliant run after the catch there on 3rd down to pick up a huge first down for you. And you're moving the ball again, and both opportunities were squandered there.
Well, you know, I think the game plan, at least what it looked like, you know, you tried a little of this and that, but I'm sure Vineland would like to be able to run the ball and get 3 or 4 yards, take some time off the clock, move the ball, possess the ball. But it just wasn't possible tonight. So that last drive, it was a lot of in looks, you know, over the middle, sit down, 5-yard passes. Vineland had pretty good success with that.
So Atlantic City will kick it off again, and we'll see what Vineland can do with 10:48 on the clock remaining in regulation. This one's in the air and into the hands of the return man. And taken down. Ball comes out, but the whistle had already blown.
So Mutcherson down, releases the ball. They think it's a fumble, but of course it's not. 1st and 10, Vineland.
And I wonder, Rich, you know, we talked, you know, throughout the game, and I've talked to Coach Guzman about it this week and in weeks past, where field position has been imperative for this team to have success and to be able to move the ball. And tonight's the first time that special teams has really been hampered by an opponent, and they haven't really had that ideal starting field position that they've had from week 0 all the way up until last week. And I wonder if that plays a factor in just, you know, the mental side of the game where it's like, wow, like this is a lot of field that I have to, you know, move the ball down as this one's handed off to Charles Clark.
Yeah, and like the drive, the second drive of the game for Atlantic City where they get to the 16 and turn it over on downs. Vineland got 2 first downs, and I brought it up at the time, like starting at the 40, 2 first downs, you're at the 35 going in. Instead, you're right to your normal starting position, and you're asking a lot more of the offense without that special teams gifting them and getting and earning them great starting field position. It makes it a lot tougher.
Ron Temple kind of limping on the Vineland sideline, walking around. Hopefully he's okay. This one's handed off yet again to Charles Clark, and he's taken down. I believe Vishiad Turner.
3rd down. Ball spot 35.
Well, the 5-game winning streak versus AC will come to an end tonight. Vineland with the bye week, time to regroup. And that's one of the tougher things on a coaching staff. You know, you hit a bye week off a really bad half of football here, and offensively not a great first half. You know, and just to refocus everybody, I mean, this is, through all rankings, the 22nd best team in the state, and you're 7-0 at half down. So you were there for a while, and you've got to remember that as you build forward.
Calderon passes, it's complete, but met immediately.
There's a flag. Boom. So a personal foul on the late tackle. As progress was done, the whistle had blown, and then a little double heel takedown via 1970s high school wrestling. Yeah, you just jump on their heels and pull them back.
It's Ron Temple on the reception. Came up still kind of gingerly, but he is in the game.
So 1st and 10, Vineland just into AC territory. Second possession that they've got in there.
Calderon looking to pass. He's firing deep. And Xavier Diaz is there down the sideline and out of bounds for a first down. Goes Xavier Diaz.
Oh, great ball, great pass. I was surprised he was able to get those extra yards as his body's hanging out of bounds. Does a nice job walking the tightrope.
We've seen him do it in years past. We've seen him do it this year too. The way he's almost like a contortionist with his body control, and his core is just so strong, and that's how he's able to stay in bounds for those extra couple yards after a play like that. As Calderon rolls out, fires all alone in the corner of the end zone is Xavier Diaz for the touchdown.
Boy, that looked easy. Wow, so that's 2 drives in a row. They get into territory. The second deepest penetration before that play. We're at the 14 before. And it's not like, AC's just if they're laying back, there's more guys back there covering. So 2 real nice balls in a row by Calderon, and we have nothing but time with the freshman.
Vineland will go for 2 here. Diaz in motion. Calderon. And it's tipped, intended for Rayon Carter, but goes incomplete. So with 5:50 to go in regulation, Vineland finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. It's 34-6, Atlantic City, and it kind of just makes you sit back and think, Rich. You had the pick 6 happen. The second pick 6 was while you were driving down the field. You also had the field position after your own interception. This game could easily be a 1-score game if not for some of the turnovers and kind of just the incompleteness of that one drive where you're down here. You get a penalty on the Charles Clark run, and it kind of pushes you back. This game could very well be 28-21.
Yeah, and those opportunities, you have to capitalize, but if you don't, you certainly have to learn from them. And to have 2 pick 6s off deflection, so it's not like, he jumps the route, that ball was floated. These are good passes that get tipped. And the odds of 2 of them getting caught, especially the first one, because he wasn't even there. It was off the deflection, bounced right to him. But that's where, with other teams, there might not be speed to take it to the house. When on this team, there's speed, there's strength, there's athleticism.
It looks like Vineland's lining up for an onside kick here.
Might as well give it a try. It's loose on the ground.
Picked up by Atlantic City, and they make good progress with it as they bring it up past the 40.
So you may say, there's 6 minutes left, and you're down. You're not going to be able to get the ball enough, but no time like the present to take a shot at it. And it was a pretty nice-looking onside kick as it takes a couple hops. Not really concerned about giving up field position with the score like this, but
And if there is one thing that this defense is for Vineland, led by Cliff Smith, they're opportunistic. We saw Saquon Anderson with the interception already. We've seen multiple interceptions this season by so many different players. It's not out of their wheelhouse to come up with a turnover here. So let's see what Vineland does as this one's handed off.
And you have, of course, there's Brooks and Millville, but you have a really great wide receiver here that, has his full ride to Rutgers and not got the ball to him. I'll tell you what, he can play some defense too.
This one's handed off again, and Atlantic City will have a first down. If not close to it.
Our new booth doesn't have me near the drum line. Yeah, we lost a little real estate this year. We went from the tiny booth to the massive booth to like a two-thirds booth, but it's so nice to have one compared to what we've been through this year. Well, enough for the first down at 3:30.
Man in motion for the Vikings. It's handed off. And a minimal gain there for Atlantic City.
So second and about 8, just another little dive up the middle, hit right away and dropped. Noah Cruz on the stop. Third down, clock continues to run. We'll hit under 2 minutes to go before this one snapped again.
So 3rd and 6. QB keeper. And does the old Brian Westbrook and picks up the first down, drops down, stays in bounds.
It's been his legs, early in the game that got them on the board, picked up a third down and got inside the 10. And we've watched on other plays just outrunning our pursuit. And we do that a lot to people, but watching it happen here, clean that up a little bit, better pursuit angles, make sure we're not pressing to get there, that we're ahead of it and try to contain it. But for AC, number 3 in Group 5 South, 22 in the state, they emerged victorious with a nice score, but a game that was in doubt heading into the second half with just a 7-0 lead and having punted 6 times in a row. And they'll kneel on it here with 35 seconds left, and that'll do it for this one, Kyle.
So a tough outcome here for the Fighting Clan here at home as they split this first 2 home games of the season. Final score 34-6 here against Atlantic City. And like you said, Rich, they showed signs, did the Fighting Clan, throughout this game. And, after that first touchdown that Atlantic City scores, you go 6 straight drives of stopping them defensively, and you just were never able to get anything going on the offense. And then when you did have moments, either a penalty came into play to push you back and push you out of a zone where you felt like you could have capitalized as that final whistle sounds. And you had the 2 pick sixes where we were mentioning this game could have easily been 28-21, and Vineland could have been driving on that final drive there to tie the game, but it wasn't meant to be tonight here at Gittone Stadium. Next week, Vineland has their bye, so we'll be on a bye week next week for football. But be sure to subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV so you don't miss out on any broadcasts throughout the 2024-2025 school year and beyond. Big thank you to Rob Garcia and our entire production team for making tonight's broadcast happen here from historic Gittone Stadium. Everybody have a safe and wonderful weekend. And for Rich Scarpa, I'm Kyle Bennett. As always, go Vineland.